What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Like always, like and subscribe and leave a comment down below. And let me shift my OBS over to the front screen before me. Okay, now I think this is better. You're gonna deal with the crinkly sounds today. Got the boy in the hands right for the moment. But today, let's little backstory. I started reading Star Trek novels in November of 2025, towards the tail end of the month of that month. I never read, watched. I probably seen glimpses of Star Trek growing up as a kid in the 90s, but never definitely never read it, never really got into Star Trek or anything like that until I just decided, you know what? I'm into sci-fi. Last year I started reading again for the first time in 30 years. And I was like, I'm into sci-fi. Let me I kind of want to try Star Trek. I had read some Star Wars, which I'd never read those before either. And I was like, I want to kind of just try Star Trek. So I looked up a list that was put together by the fans. It's called the Litverse or something list. I can link that in the description if I remember. Um, so I looked up a list and I started with those books, which incidentally they made my top five, of course. But so what I wanted to do, I've read about 23 books of Star Trek so far since the end of November. Now, if I was just reading pure Star Trek, it would have been like, 50 or more by now. But as it is, I've read 23. I've loved them all. There was like one stinker in the bunch, but that's it. And it wasn't even that bad of a stinker. But I'll get the list started. These are honorable mentions. I really wanted to get them into my top five. They're both so good, but I I think most of you will agree with what made my top five and why I made them. Identity Theft is a super great book with Chekhov getting some main character time. Ignore Kirk. It's all about that guy right there. Super amazing book. I really enjoyed it. And Greg Cox is a phenomenal author. Like this book was good, and the other one I read by him was also good. But this one was just a good time. It was a fun book. It was a fun time. Not too serious, but not too. It wasn't like comedy, but there was some great moments in it. And if you're into the furry stuff, there was some furry stuff in it. So it was really good. Black Fire by Sonny Cooper was also really good. The only reason Scotty seems like he's going to be a big character in the book, and then he kind of just disappears in the book. So that was the one thing that kind of fell short of that one. But I loved it. I loved it enough that it was close to being in top five. So let's get the top five started. I wanted to keep this video below 5 minutes. Let me pass the munchkin to the mama. Mm. I wanted this to be a quick video, but it never works out like that. So at number five, Nightshade. This book is serious business. This is a crazy story. It is twisted. It will blow your mind. It will freak you out. It was just. I didn't expect a lot of the stuff that happened in it to happen in a Star Trek book. Like it was just the deformed babies and stuff was crazy to me. Like it made my stomach turn a little bit, which hardly ever happens, and it wasn't too predictable. All right, so that was my number five, and this is my number. This list is subjected to my opinion. This is what I like, and also, uh, this is so far. The top five can ever change, and some of these books might fall off as I read others that I might like more. So number four is the duology of Homecoming and Farther Shore. This should have been one book as another set on this list. Man, Christy Golden is phenomenal. These two books I read so fast and loved them so much. Well, I didn't read them as fast as I wanted to, but they were really good. I really wish we were watching Voyager. We're barely starting season 5 of TNG, so we got a ways to go to watch Voyager. But man, I love the cast. I love the characters. I love Captain Janeway. Um, these stories were very intense, with basically a disease turning the human race into Borg, and they just got back from being lost for 7 years. So Christy Golden did an amazing job. This duology was just perfection. There's no other way to put it. Okay, so number four is another duology, and the duology that spurred my addiction to Star Trek. I went from zero books to, what do you think? We got about 200 now. probably close to 200. Now, if you've never read or watched Star Trek, know nothing about it, this is where you start, because this first one gives you like 20 pages of summaries of everything that's ever happened, and it's super good. And the way that they put the lit verse together, it just every book flows in, it flows together so well. So if you're gonna start Star Trek, start here. I mean, you can start wherever if you've watched some of the shows, so you know the characters. But this does a good job. St. Perry is phenomenal, and she does a great job. Basically feeding a newcomer everything they need to know to get into Star Trek. These two books were great. I'm getting closer to some more of her work on the list, and I can't wait for that. I can't say enough about these two books. I'm so thankful that I pulled the trigger and bought these books and read them, because I love them so much that I want to read nothing but Star Trek. I have a hard time reading anything else now. Like, I'll be honest, I'm reading Wraith Squadron for Star Wars, and I'm just not even. I- It could just be the book itself, but I'm not having a good time. I'm eager to be done with it and get back to Star Trek. I know that's messed up. So that was number three. Number two, another book off the list, because I'm telling you, this list is amazing. The Litverse list is amazing. Mission Gamma, book one of four. Man, this book has so much going on into it. You could All these books are reviewed on the channel. You could go back and watch my short reviews of them, but this was perfect. This by David R. George III. You're following oh no, I forgot his name. Captain Vaughn on the Defiant and his crew, and it's just such a good book. The Deep Space Nine cast is also amazing. I really want to get in. I can't wait till we finish TNG so we get into Deep Space Nine. So it's just, I just can't wait. I mean, this book was so good. But I don't want to. This one, I just definitely don't want to spoil for you. Read the list. Read the Litverse list. That's why I kind of didn't say too much about the avatars in this one, and I said very little about Homecoming and Farther Shore. Read the list. I put it in the description. Read it. You'll love it. I'm telling you. If you're not a Star Trek fan and you want to get into it, I tell everybody to read the list. You will become addicted, and you'll go from knowing no books to just, I don't have enough house. We had to buy a house to put the Star Trek books in. So we'll be doing that soon. Like, we'll be moving soon. I'm serious. I'm not even kidding. Um okay, and you're asking yourself, okay, we saw Identity Theft, an original series novel, in your honorable mentions. But why isn't there one in top 5? Why isn't there one in top 5, Tim? Well, there is one. The best book that I've read from Star Trek by leaps and bounds. Now, my rating wasn't an 11 out of 10 or nothing, because it is hard to read. The writer wrote a very complex. The literature is a little bit complex for a Star Trek book, if that makes any sense at all. But the story itself is so good. I got totally lost in it. And I'm usually not a fan of like humanoid species type characters, but I guess you better be if you're going to read Star Trek, right? But this book changed my perspective on all that. And what we have is Uhora's Song by Janet Kagan, original series novel. The best Star Trek book I've ever read. Not the best rating I've given one, but the best. My personal favorite, and I seriously have a hard time believing I'm going to get one that passes this up, because it's just, you'd have to read it to understand. Now, somebody recommended this one to me. I've been recommended a lot, but they were so intent on how good this book was and how, I guess, looked over it is. Possibly, I don't know, I don't see why it would be looked over. So I was like, you know what, I read it. I was reading something, I finished what I was reading, and I read this right away. And honestly, I could see myself reading this one again before the year's up. That's how good it is. And I'm not a big rereader. I don't like rereading stuff, because I can remember things for like 20 something years after I've read or watched it. So I think, I'm probably going to reread that one at some point. So, man, that is my top 5 so far. What do you think? What's your top 5, if you have one at all, if you've read enough Star Trek to have a top 5? Um, I really want to read more Star Trek. I think I'm going to put Star Wars a little bit on the back burner and only read like one or two a month. I know, I'm sorry, because I want to read more Star Trek. Eventually, I'll get burned out with Star Trek. Don't get me wrong, and then I'll just go back ham on Star Wars. So that's my top 5 so far, with two honorable mentions being Identity Theft and Blackfire. Um, if you haven't read Star Trek yet, I highly recommend you check it out. It's So fun. I love Star Trek. I'm addicted. Even in my cart at the card gaming aspect of the channel, we have I've went nuts playing Star Trek. I love it. I want to play more of it. The wife and I are gonna try to have a date night this weekend, and we're gonna print out proxies and play together and all this stuff. So it's a good time. We love watching Star Trek. We were just watching TNG before I had to stop to make this video. So that's the video today, guys. Like and subscribe. What is your top 5 Star Trek? Do you have recommendations? Um, I'm before I end the video, I am currently reading and I got to show this cover. I'm probably gonna do a short or have the wife do a short in a TikTok. Look at that cover, guys. Look at it. I mean, that is it's brilliant. I didn't get to read much on my lunch break. I'm finishing up Wraith Squadron at the same time. But dude, this book I'm actually gonna try to write out a summary for it and like make the video longer, go over the cover artist, read the back of the so make my reviews a little more worthwhile instead of just speeding through in 5 minutes. At least for Star Trek. Everything else probably going to be 5 minute reviews. But that's the video today, guys. Like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. If you love Star Trek, let me know you love Star Trek. And yeah, live long and prosper, my friends. Star Trek is the best, and it's changed my life. Later.